In this video, you will learn how to install Kali Linux on Mac Mini with the latest Apple Silicon M4 chip. This step-by-step process also works seamlessly with M3, M2 and other Mac Silicon variants. The virtualization platform used is UTM, a free and open source app built on chmod, specifically optimized for Apple Silicon. Unlike other commercial solutions, UTM offers full control, transparency, and no licensing cost, making it ideal for developers, ethical hackers, researchers, and privacy-focused users. Since we are using Mac Silicon, which is an ARM-based architecture, we will install Kali Linux, which is ARM-based architecture. So here is the UTM link from where you can download UTM. Kali Linux could also be downloaded easily from Kali.org. Alternatively, UTM provides you a gallery from where various images, both x64 as well as ARM-based OSs, can be downloaded. Now we will keep it simple and from scratch installation. So install Kali Linux from official Kali.org website. Out of the two options, we will use installer images, which would be an ISO image. But there are options to download virtual machine images which can directly be booted without installation. To make things simpler, what I did, I already have Kali Linux and UTM both downloaded. As you can see, I have a Kali Linux latest ISO image and also UTM. I also have done the installation of UTM, and here we will build a new machine. Instead of emulation, which will be slower, we'll use virtualization. We'll use CD and DVD image builder. Select the Kali image, 4 gig of memory and 2 cores, and around, let's say, 40 gig of hard disk. We will browse the folder that we would like to map. We'll have to make sure that on this directory the sharing rights are enabled. I will click on Open VM Settings to make sure certain changes are made here. Now if we go with the default configuration like this, we will get stuck and not be able to install the image. Let me show you why. But before we do that, let me click on sharing, and I want you to notice clipboard sharing option here and directory sharing option. So we are using essentially SPICE WebDAV for web sharing, for the folder sharing, and for spice-vdagent for clipboard copy paste between host and guest machine. Now with that being said, let us go through the image build option. So as we try to boot, post the first screen here. If we click OK, a message pops up, display output is not active, because the driver for display output is not yet enabled on Kali by default. Now to work around for that is shut it down, go to the settings of virtual machine and add a serial device here. Once you do that, instead of one screen there will be two. The first one will get stuck at the same place where it was in the last attempt, but when you go to the smaller screen and hit install, it takes you forward for further installation. Select your region, hit enter. You can use tab to move forward. Now for key map, I'll use American English. On this section of configure the network, it's basically asking the host name. You can provide any name of your choice. Make sure that you're not using invalid characters like I did. Like underscore is not allowed. So with arrow key you go back and let's use temp, see if that works. It does. Leave the domain blank, hit on continue. Now this is the name of the user, Kali temp, continue, same user account. Now provide a password. Use entire disk as a partition. All files on one partition. I'm fine with this. Finish partitioning and write changes to the disk. I hit OK to this. Now write the changes to disk. This should be answered as yes. We are selecting all the default. Okay, at this stage our installation is complete. Now post installation there are a couple of important steps that are needed. 1. Remove the serial interface device. 2. To clear the DVD and CD image to prevent the boot loop. Let's see what happens when we don't do that. So I will hit on continue. System will reboot. Serial device attached, and you see we are back to the installation. Now this is happening because we had not removed the serial interface. 1, that's why we see this screen. Second, CD DVD option is still selected, which is taking us into a boot loop. In order to avoid that, we will simply shut down the machine. Scroll down. First of all, clear the CD DVD option. Second, we will go to its settings, remove the serial device here. You'll have to right click and then remove. That's all. Once you save it and hit a restart. Okay, the Kali Linux is now working. So this completes one step of installing Kali Linux. We will log in. Now, since the installation has happened now, there are two critical functionalities we would need in our virtual machine. One of them should be to copy and paste from host to the guest machine and vice versa. So let's see what the host name is, and we will try to copy and paste it from Kali, which is our guest operating system, to the host operating system. Let's see, I'm unable to paste what I copied. Let me try the other way around now. This time from Mac, I will copy this URL, paste it on the terminal. It doesn't work. By default, if you remember, we selected a couple of options for clipboard sharing as well as directory sharing. While the options on UTM level have been selected correctly, now these are correctly set up in the UTM at the UTM level, but Kali Linux does not have the drivers for it natively. So we'll have to install a couple of packages there. So the first package will be spice-vdagent, sudo apt update. I will enter the sudo password. Now that I've done sudo apt update, I will do sudo apt install. Alright, let's hit enter. Okay, At this point, let us copy and paste something from guest, which is Kali, to the host, which may not work as well, and I'll tell you why. What I've seen is, even after installing this, you need to give a reboot to the machine. So I will restart the machine. Let us try now. Copy this, go to Mac, paste it here, and this works now. So clipboard copy and paste is working. Let's try to mount the shared directory now. Right, says devfs unknown file system type devfs, which means devfs is not there. So we should install sudo apt install -y devfs packages devfs2. Okay, should unprivileged users be allowed to mount? Yes, for now. Okay, now that it is done, let us repeat our mount command. Can't evaluate path for mount. There's no path for mount, which means we should create a directory there. Sudo make the directory. Now, okay, just give guest as username, and you can leave the password as blank, or provided guest, doesn't really matter. Let us now go to that location and see if we have directory, which should be there anyways. But is there a content inside, any content inside it? Nothing. This is what you get as default. So on Mac, I will go and paste something under that directory. Documents, Kali directory. There's nothing inside it right now. Let me create a terminal at this point. This is a text file. Move that inside. Test.txt. Okay, now ls. Let's see if we are able to see the same inside Kali. Hit up arrow. Yes. If I cat, this is a test file. Drive is mapped, and we are able to see all the content inside this. Now let's see what happens if we reboot the Kali Linux. So if we do an ls to mount and Kali directory, well, we see nothing. On the other hand, if you see, host machine files still persist. So in order to ensure that you have the drive mapped, I have created a quick script, just 2 lines in it. So you'll sudo and mount it after every reboot, and then change the permission level on the mounted drive to 777 so that you're able to create and edit the content inside it. Let's run this. First, let's check what is the permission level on this map drive. Yeah, I can execute. So map drive. So once I execute this shell script, because of the first line where I'm using sudo, it will ask the system's sudo password, which we created during the installation. The second username it's asking is to map the drive. This should be guessed as username and password as empty. Now if I do ls-la to mount Kali directory, I can see the content. Cd mount and Kali directory. If I let's say copy test.txt to test 4.txt, it works because I have permission here to edit the content. The same newly created file should replicate on the host. Let's go there. Yes, test4 is there. I will also share all these commands, packages and all the steps in the comment section for your reference.